I think the reason I watched so many movies was because of my grandpa. He has always been a voracious movie lover. I used to visit my grandparents' house. I'd sit in their garage, turned into a living room. I would sit on the brown carpet that had a particular texture pattern that made it so parts of it were hard and parts of it were super fluffy. There were bookshelves with VHS cassettes stacked from the strange carpet to the ceiling, no matter which wall you looked at. He possessed so many tapes that he was running out of room and had piles placed all over the place. They encompassed everything from obscure to extremely well-known pictures. Captain America to the Wasp Woman. Blockbuster could have never been able to get the range that he had. What distinguishes a hoarder from a collector becomes hazier when he converted everything from VHS to DVDs. The narrow frames allowed him to accommodate more to his collection. Later in my 30s, while I was visiting my wife's parents, I received a phone call from my mother informing me that she forgot to tell me that my grandpa was diagnosed with dementia. She thinks she's funny. My mom and her wife would spend time watching Granddad until one day something happened and my stepmom refused to take care of Grandpa. This put everything on my mom's shoulder. I made the decision to watch my grandfather on Saturdays. We would spend the entire day together watching movies. He would offer me a stack of DVDs, some good, some poor. I would choose one that caught my eye, and we would watch as many movies as we could fit in a day, giving my mom a reprise for the day. Reprise? Reprise? Repeat? He handed me a stack of DVDs one day, which comprised of a particular picture. The cover was captivating, like a spy thriller. Shannon Stone appeared anxious, posed with her head inclined to the side. Tom Hiddleston stand in a corner wearing a baseball cap, half of his face obscured by shadow, as if he was stalking, or a stranger stole something. A picture of a spooky green-tinted New York park was nestled in the opposite corner. The photo was connected by a dark branch that gave the impression of lightning over Stone's face. The title read, "When a Man Falls." In the end, she got what she wanted. Oh, I just got chills. I went into the flick expecting a spy thriller in which our antagonist, Miss Stone, was being pursued by Hutton, who was clearly the villain after her. I was enthusiastically anticipating the turns and the twist that I would witness. It was not like that at all. Actually, I think it was the worst movie I have ever seen in my entire life. Grandpa, though, adored it. He obviously forgot that we had watched the movie together, and I would continually, repeatedly see it in the piles, provoking me that he would hand me. I was the one who was in fact being stalked by the film. In reality, When a Man Falls is a slow-moving, somewhat perplexing melodrama about several characters who have unsolved problems. The movie mostly follows Timothy Hudson's character, Gary. Daniel Baker's character, Bill, a janitor who fears everything, meets Gary by chance. The two work in the same office. It's not really by chance. Apparently, they attended the same high school together. At the high school, Bill was harassed by Gary's pals. Because of this, Gary decided to get in touch with Travis, played by Pruitt Tyler Vince, a high school friend, probably somebody who bullied Bill. During the conversation, Gary learned that Travis is suffering from a personal tragedy after hitting a woman by mistake while driving a car, which led him to become an alcoholic. Gary's narrative is constantly interrupted with Bill's story that is repeatedly and haphazardly inserted into the narrative. It seemingly doesn't matter to the overall plot. However, once the complex plot webs come together at the end, we see that Bill's story arc is in fact irrelevant. He made a universe for himself, believing him to be the hero rescuing his attractive next-door neighbor, Sadie, Stacy Bono. In Bill's dreams, he saves Sadie from her abusive husband. He never really gets to save her and eventually gets beaten up by children. His story ends with him imagining that he saved Sadie. Again, he doesn't. Sadie might still be being beaten up, but Bill dreams that he saved her. But, and I can't stress this enough, he actually does not do anything. He doesn't save her. Now is when we get to talk about Karen, Gary's crazy wife, played by Sharon Stone. She is a kleptomaniac who believes Gary is undervaluing her. Repeatedly throughout the movie, she sees stealing objects. Oh no! She is exposed at an upscale retailer. Later, their son pays them a visit. He is appalled by how chaotic his parents' lives have become. Karen becomes upset about this and goes crazier. For Karen's own sake, Gary then makes an attempt to get her checked into a mental institution. Gary's life is a complete ball of chaos, and he finds it difficult that everyone around him goes through hard times. All he wants is serenity and peace. Then, when Gary goes to the hardware store, he discovers that someone is attempting to rob it. He tries to assist the business, but is shot and dies. And I'm glad he's dead. I wish Gary died before the movie started, and the movie didn't exist. The credits start to roll. He died never truly to find a solution. There is no clear character development. Is it that only his friends and relatives lead somewhat difficult lives, and that makes him feel depressed? In some way, Bill's storyline was somehow the greatest part of this movie. He literally gets beaten up and imagines saving somebody. Again, he doesn't save anybody. Just needs to be clear. This 1.5 hour film has no redeeming aspect and makes other films look great. Like The Green Inferno appears to be a masterpiece in comparison. It's not even entertaining to watch in a, oh, it's so bad it's good way. In contrast to The Room or Manuel's Hand of Fate. It rides the line of bad but not fun bad so hard. It's the creator of the line. I don't know what to do. What movie did I just watch? And why does Grandpa enjoy it? Perhaps with the dementia, he is fortunate enough to forget he's ever seen it. And is just as astounded by how apparently awful it is every time. However, I can't seem to escape it. It's ingrained in my memory, mocking me. I keep seeing the cover of this DVD in every pile after pile of DVDs that he would hand me. The lies of the cover, which promised an exciting and entertaining thriller and ended up being the worst movie I have ever watched. Even though I detest it, I still have a special place in my heart for it. That deceptive cover was among the final stacks of films my grandfather gave me for me to select to watch with him the last time I was able to before he passed away. Thank you.